Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk another trailer for another episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and this time around, we're going to be talking episode 9 of season 6, otherwise titled Collision Course Part 2. Alright, so there is no need to try and guess what the title is all about. We've already seen the first parter to this 2-episode arc. Collision Course is all about that rig with the bomb heading for the crystalline structure, the Crystal Tower. Collision Course is all about that spaceship with Izel and Fitz Simmons heading towards going through the Earth's atmosphere and then towards the very same crystalline structure. Now, we've also got a trailer that's pretty telling. We've got a synopsis that's very telling as well. I've discussed it before on a dedicated video, but I'm going to be revisiting it on this video in light of the events of Collision Course Part 1, the 8th episode of the season, and in light of this trailer. But let us though start off by checking out the trailer. Check it out.
I'm in charge. Now follow that ship. I'm coming for you next, Izel.
That's an atom bomb.
I knew you had an exit strategy.
In a few moments, the threat to your planet will be vaporized and we'll be flying away.
We're in danger, and now you are too.
So the trailer starts with Sarge. I'm in charge. Follow that ship. I'm coming for you next, Izel. Now we know that the bomb on board of the truck, on board of the rig, is going to be defused anyway. I mean, they're not going to kill 3 of our agents, or 2 of our agents plus Deke. So it makes a lot of sense that it's going to be defused. It also makes a lot of sense that Sarge, who's hell-bent on defeating Izel, on defeating the Creator and taking them out, is not going to stop here. He's gonna either hijack the Zephyr or convince Mac that he needs to go after Izel. I don't think convincing Mac is a possibility at the moment, everything considered. You know, he just tried to kill members of Mac's team. He just tried to kill hundreds of thousands of people with the objective of defeating Izel, but nonetheless, hundreds of thousands of people. Now that does as well bring us to the fight on the Season 6 trailer between Mac and Sarge. You know, they're beating the shit out of one another. I think that's gonna be happening on next week's episode. Like, no, you're not taking the Zephyr from S.H.I.E.L.D. Hell no, I'm taking it, and I'm in charge over here. But yeah though, we see the Zephyr, we do see the Lazy Comet as well. The Lazy Comet has made it through the Earth's atmosphere. It's now flying in our skies, and with one of them heading for the other, in this case the Zephyr heading for the Lazy Comet, there's a good chance Collision Course might mean a third thing besides the first 2 that I talked about at the beginning of this video. But yeah though, we know that Izel is evil. We could see her angry on this trailer. She's being faced with the man who's been hunting her for so long. If we could call him a man, we don't know what he is yet. The rest of the team plus Butterfly or Snowflake are still on board of the rig, and by the rest of the team I mean May, Daisy, and Deke. The bomb on board of the rig heading towards the crystalline structure and towards Izel's ship that's supposed to be landing there. That's pretty much an atom bomb. I suppose Deke does not know what it's called. He just defines it to Daisy, explains it to Daisy, and by the time he's done explaining, Daisy's like, oh shit, that's an atom bomb. But moving on, I knew you had an exit strategy. That's Mac talk for the part of the plan that he knew the Sarge had in place, but didn't tell them about. He talked to Yo-Yo about that on episode 8. The scene itself held at gunpoint by Sarge. That's the very same spot where they have their fight on the Season 6 trailer. So yeah, that along with a few punches that they take at one another later on in the events of this trailer are basically confirmation that we're getting that scene out of the Season 6 trailer. But in a few moments, the threat to your planet will be vaporized and will be flying away. Now that statement of Sarge's does tell us one thing. He was true about his objective over here. He wanted to defeat the Shrikes, he wanted to defeat the hosts, and he wanted to defeat Izel. That's pretty much everything he wanted. The part that he's hiding so far was about his plan that's now been revealed to the team, but the guys though never really lied about his objective. Now you've gotta love how at the beginning of the trailer, Deke and Butterfly or Snowflake are all googly-eyed for one another. You've gotta love how they're gonna be taking their relationship further on next week's episode. In the middle of everything that's happening, that's gonna be a load of fun. I do think as well that at some point they might give up hope on the bomb, on defusing the bomb, and that's when they'll decide, let's enjoy the final moments that we've got before we crash into that thing, the bomb goes off, and we're all goners. Now there's the part where someone is shooting at Mac. It's possibly Jacko, because we do see Jacko holding one of those big guns. The thing about that scene is that someone does save Mac. Someone does jump in front of the bullet. Now, at a first glance, you'd think that person is Piper. That's definitely not Piper. That's another agent. The agent we've been seeing since the beginning of the season, the one that almost died with Yo-Yo on last week's episode, but ended up being saved, with the 2 strikes and whatnot. So the answer is no. If you thought it was Piper, it's definitely not Piper. But for whatever reason though that Deke is screaming over there, something is about to happen. It's possibly the crash, the collision into that crystalline structure. And because we're watching TV, because we're watching a comic book production, it is expected that the bomb will be stopped at the very last moment. That's pretty much an MO of most TV and movie productions. But moving on though, something is exploding in space, something is crashing in space. I don't think that's the Zephyr and Izel's ship. There's this red thing that opens up. I assume it's on board of the Zephyr, and I'm assuming that's some kind of portal. We're gonna get to find that out, but I'm assuming that's part of Izel's plan. That's possibly the way she's gonna be sending people to the Zephyr. That could also be the Chronicoms. They're trying to teleport here in order to figure out what to do in order to change the timeline. But we've got Jacko going all Dragon Breath again. We've got Izel revealing her true colors to Fitz and Simmons. We're in danger, now you are too. The we over here refers to her, the Shrikes, the hosts on board of the Lazy Comet, so pretty much the crew of the Lazy Comet, and of course her plan and whoever she's working with or possibly working for. Gonna be talking about this one possibility on my theory video tomorrow. But finally though, when it comes to the trailer, we've got Sarge's rig heading right into the crystalline structure. So yeah, it does collide with a tower, there is no explosion there, so the bomb will definitely be defused. But that's also gonna mean that all of these Shrikes are right where the ley lines are. That also means that all of these Shrikes are gonna fly by and get new hosts and start the process again. I think the next thing that's gonna go down over here is these Shrikes, all these Shrikes that we see flying right after the truck hits the crystalline tower. They're gonna go to that town nearby, the one with hundreds of thousands of people, and they're basically gonna invade and bring them back to start the process again. That's most definitely a possibility. But that being said, let us quickly visit the promotional photos that just released after the airing of episode 8 and revisit the synopsis for next week's episode. Now, a lot of the promotional photos do show us Izel, Fitz, and Simmons. Most of them are either about Izel being completely surprised, taken by surprise, or Fitz and Simmons being scared, or Izel being extremely angry. But then again, there are 2 photos that are not part of that context. The first one is of Daisy and Deke, and they're possibly facing off with Izel or talking to Izel. And the other one is all about Mac and Yo-Yo in the cargo holder of the Zephyr. And I'm thinking over here, that's right before they realize that Sarge is on board of the Zephyr and that he's about to take over leadership of the jet. But revisiting the synopsis, the gang's all here on an all-new episode of ABC's Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Friday, July 12th. That's all about the entire team, including Fitz and Simmons being back to Earth, and not necessarily about them reuniting. The body of the synopsis reads, Collision Course Part 2, no time for the team to play catch up, there's a planet to save. Now first up, the part about the team catching up, that's all about a reunion that's probably going to be towards the end of the episode or halfway through the episode when they manage to rescue Fitzsimmons from the hands of Izel. But, and I know this might sound a little bit crazy, even though it isn't because these two are cursed, there might be another separation. A separation of Fitz and Simmons. I mean, these two are hostages taken by Izel. One of them is gonna make it back, the other one is gonna stay hostage unless Izel is defeated by the end of next week's episode. By the way, in the context that she's working with someone or for someone, that's also a possibility. But that's about it though for the synopsis of the episode, except for the guest starring list. The guest starring list includes Carolina Widra, who portrays Izel, Winston James Francis, who portrays Jacko, Brooke Williams, who portrays Snowflake, Matt O'Leary, who portrays Pax, Maximilian Zinski, who portrays Agent Daviiz, and Brianna Venskis, who portrays Agent Piper. That having been said though, there is no sign of any other Chronicoms on the guest starring list or on IMDb. The story might be continued later on, but do remember what I said last week. Whenever they are on the stinger of an episode, we don't really end up seeing them on the guest starring list on any synopsis. So that was the case with Balgad, and apparently as well that was the case with Enoch, Malachi, and Isaiah. So yeah, we may or may not end up seeing them on next week's episode. But that being said though, my work here is done breaking down the trailer, breaking down the synopsis, and the promotional photos. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this trailer, what you thought of this week's episode, how do you think all of this is going to play out, over the course of next week's episode and the rest of the season. Let me know as well if you did like this video by dropping it a much appreciated like, subscribing to this channel, and make sure while you're at it to enable notifications in order to get updates whenever I upload a new video, publish a new community post, or start a new live stream. But until the next time that you tune in for another one of my videos, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in to this trailer breakdown, and have a great day.